Hello, everyone. Today we discuss Democratic Van Jones keeping it real about the Democratic Party. So I've been saying it for 3 to 4 weeks that ever since the inauguration, you could tell at the inauguration the Democrats wanted to be uncouth and belligerent, but they knew that was the wrong time to do it, and so they waited until the presidential address. And please keep in mind the first address to Congress after inauguration is simply an address to Congress. A president must be in office for 12 months before they can deliver a State of the Union address. And we saw the belligerent juvenile behavior of the Democrats. We've also seen them complaining about Doge and Elon Musk and trying to say that it's oligarchs running the country. And the laughable part of all of this is their inability to look in the mirror and see that Nancy Pelosi is worth $222 million, and she can't explain how she's earned this money off a $200,000 salary. And if a banker who makes $200,000 a year after 20 years was worth $222 million, that person would be indicted and there would immediately be an investigation of them. In addition, Chuck Schumer is worth around $65 million. Bernie Sanders is worth $30 million. AOC, she's only been in office for 6 years and she's worth over $30 million. So, and then Mitch McConnell is worth $85 million. So they're all conducting insider trading. They're all participating in working with foreign agents without declaring it. They're all involved in getting kickbacks from USAID. And that is the reason why they don't want Doge to uncover the fact that President John F. Kennedy signed an executive order for USAID with the good intentions of trying to bring countries like Africa and South America and parts of Asia more developed at that time. And he had good intentions. And what the Democrats have turned this into over the last 30, possibly 40 years is a slush fund for themselves. And once they get into office, they're setting up nonprofit 501Cs, lobbying out of nowhere to save some foreign country, some village in Africa, Uganda, Rwanda, make clean water, bring Christianity to South America. And then we find out that they're giving $30 million for condoms in the Congo, $30 million to Palestinians for condoms. And we know they're not being used for intercourse purposes. They're being used as weapons. And so to watch the Democrats basically fight tooth and nail against these investigations makes one wonder. And what we're beginning to find out, we already suspected that our country and Congress was corrupt. But the degree of the corruption is astonishing us and is helping us understand why the United States is in a $35 trillion deficit, because we have unelected bureaucrats who are making decisions to spend money in ways that you have to continue to dig and dig and dig to find out where this money is going to, how our 20 million people over the age of 100 years old collecting Social Security payments. How is it being disseminated? What bank accounts? Because somebody is collecting this money and it's being spent. So with that, I want to turn to Stephen Gardner. I am going to he found on Twitter X a clip of Benny Johnson, and this clip on Benny Johnson's feed is actually of Vance, the Democrat Vance Jones on CNN. So let me explain this. I'm going to show you a clip from Stephen Gardner's YouTube channel. And Stephen Gardner is grabbing this clip from Benny Johnson's feed, and Benny Johnson is grabbing this feed from CNN. So, just so you understand where this information is coming from. And I have my baby Issa Brown. Yes, my baby chicken is here. She's getting better. So that is very happy. And so I have her in the house. Okay. That is the wrong one. Okay. Here it is right here. I have. Okay, so I have to go back and make sure I grab the right clip. I'm not sharing the right clip. Okay, here we go.
President Trump makes even more moves toward annexing Canada, or at least getting them in line with not screwing over the American people. This and so much more to help me go through all of it. I have Sean Spicer. Sean, thank you for coming on the show again.
Always love being with you. Thanks for having me. All
right. So I want to roll a clip for you and I to react to. This is CNN asking Van Jones, what is the vision for the Democrat Party? How do they win going forward? He literally says, we're screwed. We're lost as a party. We don't know what to do. Let's go ahead and watch that together, and then we will react to it.
Yeah. And then just lastly, Van, in terms of Democrats and where they go from here, this last week we did see them some people try to protest during the president's address, and then House leadership getting on to them, other Democrats calling them out. They still seem to be wandering around trying to figure this out. What's your take?
Can we ask another question? Do I talking about my own party? Can we talk about Ukraine or something? No. Look, man, we're screwed. I mean, we don't know. No, Democrats don't know what to do. This is a nightmare. Somebody like Donald Trump, we thought we'd at least have Hakeem Jeffries in the speaker's chair to hold him back if we didn't have Kamala in there to do the right thing. Listen, the Democratic Party is going through a massive set of internal crises.
This is the reason why I refuse to buy another drone. This revolutionary professional-grade drone lets anyone capture breathtaking aerial photos.
You have a party that got trapped two ways. One, defending a broken status quo that nobody likes because they thought that Donald Trump was going to make it worse. But when you're defending the status quo, you're going to lose. And then offending most people in the country, calling everybody sexist and racist and transphobic and every other name, and then saying, please follow us. That's not a good strategy, folks. Defending a broken status quo and offending most of the country turns out is not as popular as my party thought it was going to be. And so it's going to take a while for people to get it figured out. I don't like talking about this. I'd rather be beat up. Can you give me something I can beat up Shermichael about? I don't want to talk about my own party.
I know. It's a tough question.
All right.
So there you have it. So Van Jones, and of course I put Vance Jones in my heading and everything. But, he's being honest, and at least there's somebody who's willing to be honest about the state of the Democratic Party. And I've been saying for 3 to 4 weeks that the Democratic Party is lost, and they need to find a platform. And I'm glad that there's somebody within the Democratic Party who's honest enough, and that being Van Jones, to say that one, they're screwed, two, they don't know what to do, And three, this is what I said, I've been saying for like 8 weeks. Actually longer than that. Sweetie, I have my baby chicken here is pecking at my chair. So what I was saying in late October, early November, no, in October, I said and I've been saying since October that when Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, and Stacey Abrams went around the country and began calling African American men racist and sexist, they lost all respect from African American men. Now, if you listen to the polls say where there's been an increase in black men in America voting for Donald Trump is now up to 20%. That's an outright lie. It's a flip. It's around 80% of all African American men have voted for Donald Trump, and only staunch Democrats like baby boomers, people over 65, black men over 65 are diehard Democrats, and and even if they are pushed through the slaughterhouse, baby boomer black men will follow the Democrats into a burning building. But any black man under 65 or under 60 years old is not interested in the Democratic Party unless they are unless they're gay, because the Democratic Party only is catering to gay black men, gay people in general, and that is their whole party platform. They've allowed, and there's always been gay people in this country, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's always been gay people in this world. We've always had that problem. You know, in every society, you're going to have deviants. And and even during the time of the Bible, we go back to Sodom and Gomorrah. That is the main reason why God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, is because of homosexuality, then murder and theft. So homosexuality was the number one reason why God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It was followed by murder and then by theft. That is how corrupt Sodom and Gomorrah was at that time. And so this isn't the first time that homosexuality has, because it also was very popular during the Roman Empire. So prior to the time of Christ, and at least 1,000 years after Christ, Rome, Italy was rampant with homosexuality. So for probably like 1,300 years, probably 100 years before Christ, maybe even 200 years before Christ, Rome already had a widespread homosexual culture that lasted until 1,000 years after Christ. And so we've always had that, and that's not really, for the average person, no one cares about somebody being gay. What is interesting is how this population, I believe, is around 20%. People, they want to say it's 10%. I think the homosexual population is around 20%. And so it's interesting how the Democratic Party allowed 20% of the population to take over their party agenda. And so their party agenda and platform, what everybody at the presidential level, at the gubernatorial level, at the Senate level, at the mayoral level, what they all down the line have been campaigning on is homosexuality and abortion rights. And how can that? So they don't care about the economy. They don't care about crime. They don't care about poverty or the deficit. Those are the only two things that they really care about. And those are unpopular topics. And so you can't win on those two. If those two topics are your only campaign topics, you can't win with that. And Van Jones said, look, what they're discussing and what they've taken on, the status quo, you can't win on that. In addition to that, it's unpopular. And then they've offended the entire country and calling all people, both parties, sexist and racist. So everybody right now is sexist and racist because 80% of the population is not in support of homosexuality. And at least 60% of the population is not in support of abortion. So clearly there is a significant part of the population that supports abortion and supports homosexuality. It's just not the majority. And you can't win on that. Now, the day that the majority of the American population is gay or supports homosexuality, then you can win on those platforms. But to then go out and offend everybody, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, and Stacey Abrams, to call all black men racist and sexist and then say, follow me, that's not going to happen. And they've lost a lot of support. And that's why I say the Democratic Party doesn't have a leader, because Barack Obama offended a lot of Democrat voters. So they used to revere him and have great respect for him, and they lost respect for him. In addition to that, as a successor, most Americans, both Republican and Democrat, really respected Michelle Obama until Trump's presidency, and then the last 4 years during the Biden presidency, how she's just come out with hatred towards Donald Trump. And then the nail in the coffin is when she didn't show up to President Jimmy Carter's funeral, and then she didn't show up to President Trump's inauguration. So she removed herself as being relevant and as a leader. And then Stacey Abrams, she wasn't getting a lot of pull anyway. And now they're going to be investigating her for the $2 billion that a nonprofit that she is on the board of directors received money and only being in existence for 5 months. And so we're aware of all of this fraud, waste, and abuse. And now it's been revealed. And it's interesting how the Democrats still don't get it. And to me, that's a sign of a party that is imploding, and they will continue to spiral. They're not done sinking yet. The Democratic Party is going to spiral and spiral and spiral. And then watching Judge Joe Brown as a guest on Stephen Gardner, it was very enlightening to listen to him. I don't agree with all of the things that he had to, or his decisions, but I really respect his position and his understanding of the constitutional law. And I do agree that though, like when one judge, a Republican conservative federal judge, said that, hey, you can't ban guns based upon this, it was a victory for conservatives. And that ended up being a national decision. And so, though I don't agree that this New York judge is trying to force Donald Trump to unfreeze money and make it a federal thing, it's pretty much the same thing. Where I believe that the judge is in error is that this judge sits on the board of directors of a nonprofit that's received over $118 million. And so the $2 billion directly that he's ordering Donald Trump to unfreeze is part of funding that is going to USAID, that then is going to fund one of the nonprofit corporations that he is on the board of directors, and that in those instances, a judge is supposed to recuse himself, and he did not do this. And that is the basis for why I say Donald Trump does not have to respect or abide by his decision and keep it frozen until he can get the Congress to pass legislation to at least adjust the law. But for him to say whether it's fraud, waste, or abuse, you have to unfreeze the money, that calls into question the motives and the behavior of the judge, because the judge is only worthy of sitting on the bench as long as they demonstrate good behavior. And for him, who has a clear conflict of interest, to refuse to recuse himself from this case and allow somebody else to judge on that is he lacks integrity, and it's a decision that the executive branch deserves to directly challenge, and that is going to be the course that it's going to be. So with that, I want to leave you guys with this. I'm going to keep coming back to you. What Lori Chavez DeRemer has been officially confirmed as Secretary of Labor. So like I said, now that Donald Trump has everyone except Elise Stefanik confirmed in his cabinet, he has 21 of 22 people that he nominated for his cabinet. They've already been confirmed. They're in the position. He only has one person, but now he can get together and they can officially go into the Department of Labor and then begin not only talking about it, but begin releasing statements, because now they can officially release statements on the intentions of what they'd like to do. So with that, I'll keep you filled. Now that Lori Chavez DeRemer has been confirmed as Secretary of Labor, I believe the next 2 weeks, the Trump cabinet and administration, and I'm talking about Secretary of Commerce Letnick, I'm talking about Trade Representative Jamieson Greer, Kelly Loeffler, the director of the Small Business Association, and then Scott Benet, Secretary of Treasury, and then David Sachs, the crypto czar. Now these 6 people can get together and really start releasing big chunks of what President Trump's plan is for an economic stimulus package. At the same time, I want to caution you guys that because Doge is still doing investigations, here's the reason why President Trump is not concerned about the Senate passing a budget, is because he knows that from the previous administration, there was a lot of money that towards the end, the last 2 months, once Trump was elected, that they started forcing money to go through, and without Biden's knowledge. And this is where that waste, fraud, abuse is. So President Trump knows that if he can have Doge identify, and they've already identified 155 billion. And let me check right now. Let me check right now on the Doge website, because what President Trump intends to do is, he knows it's difficult to pass a budget. If he can find money from the previous administration that was being used for fraud, waste, and abuse, he can redirect that money. And they've already identified $155 billion. And so now I'm refreshing my screen on the Doge website. And so far, estimated savings is okay, I misspoke. $105 billion. Okay, and these are the receipts. So the Department of Education alone has like $60 million. But still, we don't need to go itemized. So far, Doge has identified $105 billion in waste. Okay. And I believe it was 155, but let's go at $105 billion in waste they've uncovered. He can redirect that money and get some type of economic stimulus package going, whether he focuses on the crypto world, and that is going to be forthcoming. So with that, I'm just going to leave it there. I'll be back tomorrow and give you guys more information. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your support and love. I'm going to continue to fight hard for you to keep you informed, and God bless you all. I believe overall, President Trump's second term, he's doing great. He has 21 out of 22 cabinet nominees confirmed, and they are sitting in their office with the keys, with their desk in their office, and they're making good things happen. The fact that we've been able to uncover $105 billion of fraud, waste, and abuse that is going to be saved is an excellent thing. And now it's my understanding that Ukraine has finally accepted a 30-day truce with Russia, a 30-day ceasefire. So that is great, because I already told you the end result, if Ukraine continues to dig its heels in, the Russian border will be at Poland, Ukraine. The new Russian border will be at Ukraine-Poland border. As it is right now, when they're finished negotiating, I think at the very least that Kiev is going to be where the new Russian border. Like, I believe that Russia is going to continue to acquire land beyond Crimea, just to have more of a buffer. And it already has Belarus, which is a part of the Russian trade organization, so they don't have to worry about that. But in addition to that, it would have been wise for Ukraine to join the Russian trade organization, which would have avoided this war altogether. Hey, little baby. And here's my little baby here. Here's my little baby Issa. She is pecking at my shoe. And there, yeah. And now you can go and play some more. And I'll go look around the house and see if she's left anything for me to clean up. So with that, everybody, thank you for being here. We'll keep you posted. I am going to fight hard. And I want to be clear. Initially, all I wanted to report on is cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And I realized that I couldn't discuss cryptocurrency and finance without discussing banking and politics. And I was not aware when I started the endeavor how political cryptocurrency and Bitcoin was, with the amount of people that were indicted during the Biden administration for being involved in crypto and blockchain technology and Bitcoin. So this is very refreshing for all crypto enthusiasts. God bless you. We are on our way. We are on our way. And that means the crypto markets are about to rebound. So I will have some juicy news for all of you. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. Have a great day.